Good morning, everyone. This is Uma coming to you from Lotus Wellness Center, talking about social anxiety today. And it's a topic that's very close to my heart because, ta-da, I have social anxiety. So you probably can't tell that if you know me and seeing me teach classes and on stage doing speaking engagements, but I actually do have a lot of social anxiety. So I wanted to take this video today to talk about what life is like for people with social anxiety and to give you an idea of what it's like for me, especially going through living in the public eye with my center and having social anxiety. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is that don't believe everything you see. I tend to come across as a very extroverted, outgoing, laughy kind of person. Usually, by the way, for a lot of people with social anxiety, we tend to laugh a lot, even when it's things directed at us or said to us in a mean way. So I've had people make some really passive aggressive remarks to me or said nasty things to me about my friends, my partner. And in the moment, I'm so shocked at what happens that I don't know what to do. So I end up laughing. And then people mistake that for, oh, she must be in agreement. So let me keep talking crap about these people in her life or about her because she's in agreement. No, actually, I'm not in agreement. I'm more disturbed by the fact that you feel comfortable talking to me about these things. And I laugh because I don't know what else to do. So that's one thing that you can, start to notice about people if you're talking to them and you're starting to notice like little nervous laughter or just prolonged hyena laughing, might be because they might have some social anxiety issues. The other thing is I probably never, ever will. And I know my boyfriend always says, don't use, those kind of statements, never or always. He's like, don't ever do absolutes. But I know myself well enough to know that this statement is true, and I probably never, ever will take an impulsive trip anywhere, okay? So and by the way, I'm not envious at all of my friends who do it. I hear stories about people like, oh, I just got up one morning and got in a car and drove, and I'm like, oh, great. That's wonderful for you. That's never going to happen for me. And if you ask my partner, I tend to plan my trips a year or a year and a half out. An impulsive trip for me would be planning a trip 4 months out. It's impulsive. So the reason for that is I need to know where everything is at every minute of the day in terms of planning. So bathrooms are a big thing for me, as they are for a lot of people with social anxiety. Going to the bathroom in public, sharing a bathroom, and most people know about that. They're like, okay, that's not a comfortable thing, first of all, and to do it around other people, it's even more trying. So when I make my trips and I plan, I always have to kind of plan with the bathroom in mind. And then also too, because I have such anxiety and nervousness in my stomach, I have to plan meals and I have to plan, like little outs. I can't be boxed in. So if I was to go on a friend's trip, and they had all these activities planned that you had to be at all these activities, I probably couldn't go. Just saying, I couldn't go because it's too much. And I always need to have outs for whenever my anxiety rises up or I need some downtime or I just need to be by myself. Case in point, my family's planning this huge, wonderful, beautiful trip through Europe next year for about 2.5 weeks. And I'm going, but I'm only going for a week because that's pretty much as my system can take. And I know myself well enough and I have proper boundaries in place to know when to say yes and when to say maybe and when to say heck no, no way. And I told my dad, I was like, I'll be with you guys on that last leg of that trip, for a week. And he understood because he knows, how I've been over the years and he's pretty much gotten used to it. So that's another thing for people with social anxiety is when it comes time to trips, most people get excited. Most times people with social anxiety get even more anxious about where's the bathrooms, where's first aid, where's the hospital, this, that, and the other. I tend to pack suitcases. My friends will laugh at me at this, because we'll go away for a simple weekend trip and everybody has like a duffel bag and Uma's pulling, a large suitcase along. But I do And that's another thing is I pack pretty much everything I can pack to handle whatever is going to come my way for me, not the weather, not other people, not the activities, for Uma. You know, if Uma's feeling cold that day, she needs sweaters. If Uma feels like, you know, or if Uma has an upset stomach, then she needs digestin, essential oil, and other things for upset tummies. You know, it's a lifestyle, is what I'm trying to say. It's a lifestyle. And I'm sharing this a little bit to be part of, you know, my vulnerable lessons videos that I've been doing, but also to create awareness about people who have social anxiety. It's not that easy, you know. So if you are around someone who has social anxiety, or have a close one to you, understand that it takes time for them to commit to anything. And it's not because they're being mean or lazy. It's just they have to really think out the possibilities of what this means and what their comfort level is going to be. I've told all my friends and people who I network and collaborate with, you know, sometimes we have to do trips and get on the road and go to other cities to do classes or workshops or demonstrations. And I tell everyone up front, I need you to know I'm driving by myself or I'm driving with my partner. You know, and we'll meet you there, and that's just how it's going to go. And I know that puts a damper in everybody else's plans. They want Uma there to be happy and fun and to share in the joy. We can do that, you know, at the retreat place or the workshop, but I definitely need my downtime, and I fight very hard for my downtime because it's what balances me. So yeah, I wanted to share that. What else can I tell you about having social anxiety? It's nerve-wracking me doing these videos. So if you're someone who has social anxiety and you're trying to create your business or you're an entrepreneur and this is the absolute worst for you, it's okay. I'm right there with you because I absolutely hate this. That's why I get up in the morning, I put on my makeup, I try to look nice because every minute that I'm looking at myself, I'm looking at, wow, that hair is out of place. Really? Did you have to do like the wash and go today? Could you not like have straightened your hair? And I'm critically self-assessing how I look. Now, in real life, I think I'm a beautiful person, but just seeing myself on video, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And it just creates more anxiety for me. So if you have social anxiety as well, this video is for you and just letting you know that you're not alone. Other people go through this too. A lot of times when I tell people I'm actually an introvert and I'm an extroverted introvert is what I say. And you know, I tell people that they're so surprised because when they see me on stage or when they see me teaching classes, I tend to be very vivacious and outgoing and lively, but it's like an actor. You know, when you're doing what you do that you love, you put your all into it and you're in that moment, that thing, you're creating that thing. But after that, you know, when you go back to your life, my life is not like that because people assume I'm always partying or I'm always around a lot of people after I get off work, but I actually am not. I actually heard something very interesting the other day that when it comes time to describing introverts and extroverts, people get it wrong because they look at your life and think, oh, you're extroverted, you're introverted. But what I heard was it actually pertains to how you are when you want to spend time alone. So if when you're in your downtime, you want to be around people and community and hanging out or partying or whatever, you're an extrovert. But if you're in your downtime, you want to stay home, Netflix and chill, or just hang out by yourself or with maybe one or two people, you're more an introvert. So I definitely fall in the introvert category for that because when it comes time to do a class or a workshop, I have no problem shining, ta-da! But when it comes time to being home alone, I really like being home alone. Probably explains why my partner and I live apart at the moment because, you know, getting close to 5 years, people would think, oh, you guys moving in? Not quite. You know, Uma's still working up to that. And my partner is also an extroverted introvert. So we tend to like our little quiet time away from each other as much as we enjoy our time together. The other thing I'm going to tell you about social anxiety is when it comes time to do things that require interaction, it is a strain and it is really hard for us. So we do need to make preparations to do what we need to do. And that's why I go back to, we can't be on anybody else's itinerary but our own. So if you were going on a group trip and they were like, 9 o'clock, we're here, 10 o'clock, we're here, 11 o'clock, we're here, that's going to be really hard for people who have social anxiety. You know, to me, a group trip would be better like, let's meet for breakfast. and then we'll meet for dinner. That would be an awesome group trip for me. I like to go off and do my own thing. And especially if my partner's with me, I like to do things with him. I like to read. I like to meditate. I like to just sit in nature. And when I tend to go with these groups, these large groups, it's just a lot of stuff. I used to hang out with these girls from New York, these sisters, and they would plan these big, elaborate group trips, where 20, 30 people would go. And I always hated it. I hated it. So what I would do, and this is the craziness, this is the cycle here. I would drink excessively on those trips, which was cool because everybody was drinking excessively on those trips. But I was drinking excessively just to deal with the noise and the personalities and the people and the fighting, because the sisters would fight with each other or be catty, and it was just insane. And, if I wasn't drinking, I would be quiet or sad or try to be in my room, and people would be like, oh, Uma's being a downer. I just really was trying so hard to cope. I finally had to leave that whole group because I just realized it wasn't my truth. And I'm saying that because some of you are probably still caught up in that, like especially the younger people in your 20s. You feel like you need to keep going to those team things and group things and sorority things or whatever. And then you're like, I'm being drained all the time because you have to invest so much energy into being up or being to what people want you to be. So then you start to lose your energy. The good news is as you get older, you start choosing yourself more. So if you're 20 something and watching this, I'm just going to say, start choosing yourself from now, because by the time you hit 40, you're probably going to be, you're going to be excellent at doing it. On the flip side of that, I do have clients who are now learning how to say no to people and pull back and just want to protect their space, protect their energy. And they're now learning that in their 40s and 50s. So this video might save some lives. I don't know. Okay. So that's it. That's my little bit about social anxiety. I'm pretty sure I'll be talking more about it because I want people to be aware that you can be successful in life no matter what you are. Okay. Whether you have a mental illness or a social condition or a disability or anything else, you can be what you want to be if you put your mind to it. I would have never picked this job, what I'm doing, being the owner and founder of an amazing metaphysical wellness center, being a paid speaker and an author, leading retreats, around the country. I would have never imagined myself to be doing any of this because my shyness and introvertedness would prevented me. But the funny thing is that you are born to be who you're born to be. And all you have to do is keep respecting yourself and your space and allow this thing to take off with you. For your own self, not for other people. And then you can find that you will excel in it, just doing what you love, but also honoring who you are. So no more beating yourself up if you have any sort of anxiety or depression. I'm going to do another video on depression soon because I think that's very important to talk about. That's another side of me, right? Is that part that gets a little bit sad every now and then. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But for those of you with the anxiety, you know what? Honor it. Honor it and treasure it because for many people who are psychic or mediumistic, we tend to have anxiety, it's just our emotions. We feel, see, know everything in a sense on the spiritual side of things. So we are constantly picking up things and going. And that's why it's so important to understand who you are and be accepting, not judging of who you are and work within your parameters. All right, that's my daily tip for today. Thank you so much for following me and checking out my channel. Please feel free to click subscribe and drop a comment below and let me know how you felt about this video. If it pertained to you, I'd love to know that you saw it, you were motivated by it or inspired by it. So that's that. All right, guys, bye.